Hi, honey, how are you? It's Teknikolour, and I have another very special build for you today. And it's actually part 2 to last week's video. So if you haven't checked that one out and you would like to, I'll drop the link down below. But I created another build for the Sim Selves in my Legacy Challenge. And basically what that means is for the past couple of generations, we're currently on Generation 8, and we're living in Island Living's world, Sulani. I have added versions of my actual community members in my saves. So I have people who have created a version of themselves in The Sims 4, and that Sim self has been invited to weddings, parties, and it just gets integrated into my actual legacy save. And it's been really fun so far. So here is the second build that I created for those Sim selves in this generation. Let's check it out. So of the two builds that I created for my Legacy Challenge new set of Sim selves for Generation 8, this is the second house. If you would like to watch the first house, I posted it last week and I'll put the link down below. But this is Honey Haven. And the last house, which you can kind of see in the background over there, is the lighter version of this house. And this is the darker version. And I kind of wanted a space that represented each of the people who are living in this house. And each one, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out who was going to go into what house and what room they were going to be living in. And this is Honey Haven. So you make your way up these steps, and of course there's a little sitting area for each spot. One thing that I really liked about the exterior of these builds, and I actually started working on this build first, was the fact that each of these items, everything that I used across both houses kind of works for both coloring. So again, we have a dark version and we have a light version. And I have this big picture window up there at the top, and we've got this little dark entryway coming in here. And then we have like the darker wood tones on either side with these for rent windows and the planters that are from the new businesses and hobbies pack. And I just wanted this to be a space where everyone could just come and hang out. They could maybe like talk to the neighbors or their friends or just amongst themselves, hang out here, and then of course go into the house. And I think just walking into this house, it looks stunning. I am very proud of the way that these two houses came together, but specifically this one, because this was the first one that I worked on. And I love it because you have this picture frame over here, which is actually a TV, and you have the fish tank coffee table over here, and it's just a space for the Sims to hang out and just sort of enjoy each other's company. Over on this side, we have our kitchen, which has the countertop dining, and I really wanted a space that I could use the Island Living cabinets and the Home Chef Hustle cabinets, because they sort of match, and we unfortunately did not get upper cabinets for Island Living. So that's kind of what I've been doing in each of my Sulani builds. Over here, we actually have a little spot for dancing and for music. So we've got some vinyls over there. We've got the record player. And of course, these lines on the floor just designate an invisible dance floor. Through this door is actually the kind of half bathroom. There is, of course, a space for a shower for anyone who needs to use it. Although each of the Sim selves has their own bathroom. Over here, we have a little panel in case we have a robber. And then in this little nook, we've got a little desk area. We got a small little computer, and we've got some photos here, which are sort of supposed to represent my Sims, but it's of course just standard from Love Struck. I really wish when they gave us this item that we would be able to put our own photos into it, but I understand why we can't. Past the living area, of course, we have this sort of enclosed little balcony space, and I wanted it to be a place where you could just come out, you could relax, just have a cup of coffee, hang out with your roommates or your friends or just neighbors in Sulani. And I wanted there to be a glass bottom because even though the water doesn't really come that high up, I still wanted you to see down below. You know, you're living in Sulani. When else are you going to use those tiles? Back into the main house, though, we are actually going to go out onto the deck. And you can see here, there is a place for everyone to hang out. There is, of course, a little bar, and we have a table and we have a grill. So they're set. They can cook and eat indoors. They can hang out outdoors. Of course, there's a little bit more dining space outdoors, but we have a space that they can enjoy the views in Sulani, and they can also just get to their bedrooms for those of them that have outdoor bedroom. And the first bedroom that we are going to check out is actually for Ultimate Linkage. And Ultimate has actually been in this Sim Self in my Legacy Challenge before, and I wanted a newer version of him, and I wanted to have a bedroom that more adequately represented him, because I think the first time I did this, I don't think it was the best for everybody. I hope everyone enjoyed it who participated, but I really wanted something this time that really spoke to each person, because I feel like I've just been getting better with each time that I've done this. And this is the bedroom that I created for Ultimate. And I just wanted something that sort of speaks to him and sort of represents like how I view him, as well as brought in a lot of the elements of things that he said that he likes, his favorite color, and just a space to represent him. Over here, we've got this little nook, and I really liked this because I wanted there to be like a little floor space. So everyone could just come in here, he could hang out with friends and play some board games. But also, I think of Ultimate as kind of like a big gamer. So he's a pro gamer. So he's got this pro virtual gaming station over here. So Ultimate Linkage, if you were ever wondering, does tech respect me as a gamer? I do. I do. I also wanted to layer these two mirrors. I had a lot of fun with this. I don't know that I would do this again because it looks a little odd, but I thought it looked really cool. And it just, I don't know, something about it just screamed Ultimate to me. And I just really wanted to incorporate it if I could. Of course, each of the Sim Selves has their own individual bathroom, but they're basically all the same. Though this version is darker than in the last house in Honey Shores. Going down here past the chess table and this potted plant, we come down into Biggie Snub's bedroom. Now, if you remember, last week we checked out Tiny Snub's bedroom. This is Tiny's other Sim Self that she had redeemed. They're both mermaids, and there's Tiny, who's good, and then there's Biggie, who's maybe not so good. But this is Biggie's bedroom, and unlike Tiny, she likes purple. So I tried to incorporate a lot of that while also sort of incorporating things about Tiny as much as I could. And we've got her whole bedroom here. It looks like a very cozy place. She can come and entertain here. Then we've got her bed in the back, and it's just got the florals hanging down from it. And I just thought it was really pretty. She's got her bathroom over here. Again, all of the bathrooms are the same. But then, of course, you might say, well, this room is a little bit smaller. And this over here, this bookshelf looks a little different from that bookshelf. And it's not. There's absolutely nothing behind that bookshelf. And oh my God, what is this? This looks like a place for maybe some evil doing. We can see that there's a mermaid here. There's some magic. Is she a sea witch? Who knows? Who knows? But obviously, there's nothing behind that door. There's nothing behind that door. Heading back into the main building, you can just go on up these stairs and you can see that we've decorated this very much like Island Living, and very, very cozy. And of course, you can see all of the Sim Selves here. We've got Mythical Maximus, we've got William D, we've got Ultimate Linkage, we've got Marissa Regal AF, and we've got Biggie Snob. And we also have another fish tank over here. And then down here is William, as we like to call him, his bedroom. And this is William D's Sim Self. And he wanted a vampire, which when we initiated this, we kind of didn't realize that vampires are immortal. So he'd kind of be staying. William has kind of become the uncle in this legacy challenge. And he's literally always there. If my Sims go out on a date and like they barely know their Uncle William because like they've really just like aged up into teenagers and like they've spent most of their time at home, learn how to walk and stuff, Uncle William's like there. He's everywhere. He's like anytime my Sims go anywhere, there's like a 99.9% chance that William will also be there. He's looking out for the Wyndham family. What can I say? But this is William's bedroom. And again, he is a vampire, so he's got some lore. And I just wanted a space that incorporated William's love of green. And I wanted something to just sort of register that he's a vampire. So I like having the thorny stuff like just climbing up this wall. I like having the cow head up there and just having this space be very interesting, even though I sort of wanted to incorporate some of lighter wood tones in this bedroom. I wanted to make it so that he's not like a bad vampire. He's a good vampire, you know? So we're kind of subtly hinting towards that. William likes to read and he likes to just, I don't know, just check things out. And we've got the candles up here with the mirror in the back, which I thought was a really cool touch. And of course, we've got a space for him to create because I felt like he really liked in businesses and hobbies the pottery making. It sounded like something that he was really into when we were checking it out on stream. And I tried to incorporate a lot of the things that I noticed that these community members enjoyed. So hopefully I didn't miss the mark. But again, this inside the main house bedroom is a little bit smaller than the others, even though when I was planning it, I was like, obviously this is the bigger bedroom. So this is why these two people will have it, because they've contributed the most over the years and they deserve the bigger space, and it's a little tinier. So William, I'm sorry. But you know, you did just come from a mansion. Over here, we've got his own bathroom, and again, all of the bathrooms are alike, but each of the bedrooms are very much indicative of each person. And then going out here onto the second floor balcony, we also have this space, you know, so he can actually make his pottery, he can glaze them and he can finish them, but we needed room for it, so that's why it's out here. And then you come down here, there is another chess table down here. But this first bedroom, I think, has become my favorite out of all the bedrooms that I designed for this group of Honey Sim Selves. And this one is for Marissa Regal AF. And Marissa's not a big simmer. She's never really done The Sims as far as I know. I think she downloaded The Sims so that she could create her Sim self. I would have created them if people wanted, and some of them I have actually created and people have adjusted them or changed them. But Marissa surprised me and she downloaded The Sims and she created her own Sim. And then she went above and beyond and made my life really easy. And Marissa, thank you so much for this. Marissa made a whole Pinterest board, like an inspiration board for me, where I could see kind of what she was envisioning for her Sim Self's room. And I really hope that I delivered. So this is her bedroom, and I wanted it to be a little more mystical and have a lot of greenery, which sort of matched everything that she was requesting. So we have this little area over here with the plants, and this kind of just like leads you over into her bathroom. But then outside, we've got a place where she could just get ready for the day. And she's also extremely creative. She's a very talented artist. And I put nods to that throughout this build. But there is a space for her to just house all of her different collectibles and jewelry and stuff. And again, there's a lot of greenery, and I know that she likes reading, and I like that she likes art and everything. And we've got this over here. So on the other side of this is actually bookcases. And I just wanted like this ivy to be creeping up it, and I think it looks really cool. Like I'm so proud of the way that this one came out. But I wanted it to be a little darker. I wanted it to be a little warmer, and I wanted there to be space for her to make art and also just come in here and relax and just do her own thing. You can check out some of the books that she can read, and also we've got some nods to like gaming and stuff over here. And of course, she can come over here. She can create some, but I wanted it to be a little like witchy, a little practical magic-y and stuff like that, because that's what I was getting from the inspiration board that she had given me. So Maris, I hope you like this one. This I think is my favorite of the bedrooms that I did for this one. So this one was really fun to work on. So thank you. And then we have our final sim self over here. And this one is for our good friend Mythical Maximus, who has actually had a sim self in the past. And we know that he likes creating. He's very creative. He's also got like this darkness to him, and he's into like horror and stuff like that. And I knew that he liked a lot of the raccoon, the Trashly real person stuff from Businesses and Hobbies. So there's a lot of that integrated in here. Of course, over here, we've got his bathroom. Again, they're all the same. I'm sorry, I didn't go all out with the bathrooms. I just couldn't. I'm stressed out with this trip I have coming up. But I wanted a space that felt very much like him. So we got these tombstones over here. We've got a place that he can entertain. He can hang out with friends. He can do a board game. We have raccoon art. We've got an open book. We've got some plants over here. We have just some cozy candles and the bed over here. We've got a place where he can create, he can make some art. And of course, he does some miniatures like our friend Lisa does in the last week's video that I showed off. And then over here, I just wanted a space because Max is an avid reader and has kind of inspired me to read more this year. So I don't know if I did well here, but I really wanted a space that felt very cozy, very Max, and I wanted a place that just felt like he could do all of his reading here. This is like his little reading corner. And Max, I hope you like it. I hope you like it. I had so much fun designing each of the bedrooms and these houses for all of these Sims. And I gotta tell you, I hope that you enjoyed these builds as much as I did. And if you did enjoy this video, please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss future videos. And I will catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.